Hello crafty friends, this is Gloria Parra and today I have a huge layout share. I have two enormous piles of my 12 by 12 layouts here created this 2024. It has been such an amazing creative year. I was designing the entire year for Simple Stories. I was for a couple of months with my creative scrapbook. I also have some layouts here to share from the event that I held with my friend Andrea Lake and Celes Gonzalo. That's our community called Scrap and Learn. So I have some layouts of those to share. And I'm also venturing on offering online classes. So you're gonna see some of those layouts here as well. So yeah, thank you so much for being here this 2024. Many of these layouts have process videos. Some of them you've seen already, but I want to go through them one by one to inspire you one last time and put all this fabulous layouts and memories in albums. So come with me and let's dive in. Okay friends, I will start with my first layout of the year, and this New Year's layout was done with a Simple Stories set. That's the small ones. It's called Happy New Year, if I'm not wrong. And I just adore the colors and all the fun numbers that you can find in this collection. I had so much fun creating layers, creating this huge cluster here and this one up there. So yeah, it was a very fun one to create. For my second layout, I used the Noteworthy collection by Simple Stories to document my word of the year, which was intentional. And I just loved using this two chipboard frames to make my photos like the center of attention and creating that little clusters all around. I had so much fun with this one as well. Moving on, I was part of the Bella Boulevard design team for a couple of months, I believe until April. So I did this layout using their love notes, I believe it was called. And I created a huge heart and just little clusters of smaller hearts and stitched them. I did some hand stitching to add just a homemade effect that I loved. So this was a very fun one to create. Using that same collection, I did this one, which is a more linear one. And I also created my little clusters and like falling hearts from the sides. For this layout, I used the Winter Wonder collection by Simple Stories. And we were actually on a cable car, I believe it is called. And I added some eyelets down here and added like a bunch of winter clothes hanging from that line. And I just love how this layout turned out. It was a very fun to create. I added some stitching here. So it's a very textured and fun layout. Now moving on to Valentine's, I used the Simple Vintage Love Story collection by Simple Stories for this one. And I cut apart a bunch of this little like tickets. I used it's actually a hair cutting scissor that I used to create this little like ticket look on all of the postage stamps. And then I stitched them all around, added my chipboard frame and created my clusters in a like vertical line. So yeah, I love this. It's a very romantic layout. Okay, this layout I believe was made with the Crafty Things collection by Simple Stories, and it is just awesome for us crafty girls and scrappers. So it was awesome creating with it. I used a chipboard frame here. I added my title and created Hello Crafty Era and just a bunch of little embellishments at the right that are embellished with little chipboard pieces or fun words. A very happy and fun layout. This one was created with True Colors, if I'm not wrong, another Simple Stories collection. If you can see, I just love the chipboard pieces, the chipboard frames. I love creating, layering them, adding photos, adding fun elements to them. So yeah, this was inspired in a Taylor Swift song that my daughter loves. So as soon as I saw the phrases that said, "It's me, hi," I just had to go on with it, with the song. I'm the problem, it's me. So I created little strips that I distressed, like in an ombre colors, and then created little clusters here. A very, very fun one to create. Okay, this layout was created with the Spring Garden collection by Simple Stories as well. And this was like super, super different for me. I had tons of fun creating it. I love working with this vintage collections. I sometimes get intimidated by them, but they usually are one of my favorite layouts whenever I'm done. So yeah, I created like 3 big circles and then embellished them, went a little overboard with the flowers, but I love the end result. So yeah, it is a beautiful one. If you see it in real life, you can see all the texture, all the dimension, and this is one that I have hanging on my craft room, a very beautiful one. Yeah, this one was created with the metal flowers. It's another vintage collection by Simple Stories, just beautiful. I loved the lilac, very soft pastel purple in this collection, so I just really made it like the front thing for this layout to use the light purple, and just used all the chipboard pieces that I could to create my clusters. So all of these are chipboard frame, the chipboard clusters. So I have over 50 process videos that you can check out creating many of these layouts. This is a very special layout that I made for the Scrapbook and Cards Today magazine. This one won the sketch challenge, and it has a very special place in my scrap room, just to remember me that dreams can come true. So yes, I had tons of fun layering all the flowers here at the right side, adding some fun words that just leave a beautiful message to my 2 girls. A very fun one. Here comes another layout created with Celes Gonzalo Rainbow Avenue collection. I love this one. Love creating the little clusters, floral clusters, and my strips in the middle, like make my photos pop. I adore the soft pastel colors in this collection. Such a beautiful one to use. Here I have a very fun and bold layout. I used the Bella Boulevard's like basic patterns. They have this super awesome papers that are basic, like dots, squares, and I loved creating with that one. It was centered in St. Patrick's, so I just went crazy with the flowers and a huge rainbow and pictures of my daughters getting dressed up for school as characters. Yes, as their favorite book character and class color. So very fun to document with this collection. Next, I have a travel layout. This one was also created for Bella Boulevard using super fun tags in 2 clusters and just a linear design, and just a super easy and fun layout to create. For this one, I used the Color Palette collection by Simple Stories. It was such a different one and very fun to create because it had tons of tags, tons of basic shapes and like butterflies, birds, words, chipboards. Everything was like categorized in the rainbow colors. So that's what I did. I just used a couple different colors at the left side And on top of each color, I color blocked my embellishments and just went to town with all that I could. On the left side and at the right side, I have the photos of me, like living this colorful, happy life that we live as scrapbookers. I just adore this layout. It is one of my favorites. It was created with the Bella Boulevard collection. I can't remember which one. I think it was with their basic patterns. And this is one super special photo of my youngest one. Like, she got all dressed up for one of her classmates' birthdays. So yeah, it was a very special layout to create, and I loved how it matched perfectly with this embellishments. This next layout was created for Mother's Day, and well, this is my mama and this is me a couple years ago, and I used this beautiful, like very romantic and soft collection by Simple Stories. It is a very small collection, but it's perfect to document your mom, that special someone that you love. For this next layout, I used I think it is the Summer Snapshot collection. It is by Simple Stories, and it had a ton of different little squares here, like Polaroid frames. So that was perfect to include a bunch of photos and make my favorite pop with, you know what, a chipboard frame. So yeah, super fun, easy. You know, those are the kind of layouts that I sometimes love to do, that are easy without you thinking so much. So yeah, a very fun one to create. So I also was part of the My Creative Scrapbook Kit Club design team for a couple of months, and this one was created for them. This was a spring inspired kit that month. I can't remember the name. Sunny Days, I believe it was the collection. This is by Simple Stories. So yeah, my idea was to create my 3 little clusters here, a very layered one, and I really like the end result. I loved using pattern paper like everywhere where I could, and I love this layout. Okay, here comes Pack Your Bags by Simple Stories. I love using here 2 chipboard frames. Again, this beautiful bold airplane. It's part of the Big Bits. They have this huge embellishment packs, and I just adore them. So these are my girls traveling to New York. Super excited. So yeah, that's the opening page for my New York album. Here I have a Father's Day layout created with another simple set by Simple Stories, and I just love creating my 4 big triangles here and directing the eye to the awesome photos of my husband with my girls. So yeah, I hadn't created a Father's Day layout in a while, so this was one that I really had tons of fun creating. This layout was also created with Pack Your Bags by Simple Stories. I loved cutting around the skyline here, using a very bold title and just highlighting those 2 awesome photos of us in New York. I did this with an older collection. It is, I can't remember the name, but it was like a outdoors collection by Simple Stories. So I just added this wood piece here and created 3 banners, like long banners, added a chipboard frame in the middle and 2 photos on the side. I still need to add my journaling, but I just love how fun and different this one looks. I have another spring layout, Easter. You know, we were in the States with the cousins, so it was a very special Easter, and I just created with 6 tags and a huge embellishment cluster up there, my title, and some fun embellishments. The next couple layouts were created for my creative scrapbook with a summer kit, and this was created with all the scraps that I had, and if you can see, it's very fun, colorful, and I can't remember the name, but it was an American craft collection. So I just added like a little wave here, creating like an L shape, and just creating my clusters and making a fun little scene in each cluster. This is like one of my favorite ones of the year as well. I just cut apart all the waves and just layered one on top of the other, tucked my photos under, and added some surfing boards and fun elements under the waves. This one was created with the same kit. It was a sketch that we were given, and just made some waves in the circle, added my little mermaid that remembered me of my daughter there. Super fun and easy. This was one that I loved creating. I just love color blocking my embellishments, and this page was perfect for that. So yeah, very fun and a fast layout if you wish to recreate it. Talking of fast, this one wasn't fast. This took a while, but I just adore the end results. I cut apart all the little squares that were white and popped this up to create like a weaved paper effect that I just adore. So this was created with the same kit of my creative scrapbook, and just had fun layering all my embellishments down here and up here. This one was created with the Just Beachy collection by Simple Stories, and I believe it was created for National Scrapbook Day. One of my favorites as well. Just love all the layers. Like the color combination is perfection. Just love to highlight that very special photo of me and those beautiful, I'm not sure the name, macaws or something like that, but super fun, super bold, and it's one that hangs in my scrap room as well. Another layout created for Just Beachy that I need to add my journaling up here. It has my little flowers on the left side. I tried to do like a little pattern here with this leaves and just my little clusters that I love doing. Now we have Disney, and this was created with one of the Say Cheese collections by Simple Stories, and I loved creating this band here with all the little circles, and I used like word strips that say dreaming of good times, celebrating big smiles, here for the funnest day, and just trying to use up all those strips of stickers that we get in a fun and different way. This is another spring inspired layout using, I believe it's Sunny Days by American Craft. And well, sometimes I just love stitching, and this paper screamed stitch me. So I chose the same colors and added some hand stitching on the two borders, on the two corners here, and created a little cluster of photos and embellishments and my journaling. This next layout was created with the Linen Market collection by Simple Stories, and you can make it very 4th of July if you want, or using all the yellows and all the other colors in the collection, you can make it more of a summer layout, you know? So I was dying to document this beautiful 4th of July celebration that we got to celebrate this year. So this was the perfect collection to do so. I created some pinwheels with the patterned papers and added some of the beautiful brads I also used some of the raw bonds on the back, and I just adore this one. It was so fun to create. It also has a YouTube process video if you would like to check that out. This travel layout was created with one of Vicky Wooten's collection. And I don't know, this was a kit, my creative scrapbook kit, and I just used some of the Simple Stories stickers that they included, and I just love this design. The tickets here make it super fun. So if you have tickets and you want to use them in a fun way, you can add a bunch of them on a border. Another spring-inspired layout, and I just created like little borders down here. I believe this was a sketch, and I loved incorporating the little banner, my title, and all the fun spring embellishments. Moving on to the next layout, I have another layout created with the True Colors collection, and the colors in this collection are awesome. They are so bold and fun. So this was a layout I scrap lifted from my friend Andrea Lake for our Scrap and Learn community challenge. So it was really fun. I incorporated this 49 and Market like photo strip. It's a plastic one. I did some borders here and the left side. I loved using this little viewfinder. I need to add a little brat there and my journaling, and it will be done. You know, I'm sure some of you get it, but you know, you leave the journaling for last and sometimes you just move on to the next layout, and this one is waiting for my story. Next one, this was created for my creative scrapbook kit club. I just did some little borders here. I believe this was a sketch, and it was using Paige Evans' travel collection, and super fun to document my daughter's love for all things skincare and what her bucket list was for this trip. And it was all related with skincare and all the things like tweens like now. So different from what it was being a tween for us, right? This was another one using that kit, and I loved using the tags, the little photo frame. So I just created like a little cluster of those embellishments in the middle. I loved how this one turned out using the same kit and the same Paige Evans collection. So I just divided my page with a little border and stitching here, and I used all the little tags that I could and just color coded all the tags with different embellishments, but in the same tones. I loved how it turned. It's one of my favorites for this year as well. This is another one of my favorites this year, and it was using one of the Say Cheese collection, and it's documenting our Epcot love and our love for the Ratatouille ride. And we always ride it a few times because the girls love it. So it was perfect to document that. This was using the same My Creative Scrapbook kit and the same Paige Evans collection. And I loved creating, just fussy cutting all the little butterflies there and putting them in the same colors as the strips of this 49 and Market pattern paper. You know, it looks like if I had done some mixed media, but I did nothing, friends. I just cut the butterflies, layered them with some foam adhesive, and it looks awesome. I love when those pattern papers make it look like if we had done tons of work. Now we will move on to some layouts created for my Scrap and Learn virtual class. These were all created for my class, which was called Floral Extravaganza, and you can imagine florals were like the main thing on these layouts. For the first one, I just distressed some vertical strips and I color coded my flowers coming from the top. I also added some little twine, and I tried to color coordinate my borders here for my photos. I just need to add some journaling and it will be ready to go inside my album. This layout was so much fun to create in that class, and I saw that many of them enjoyed it and recreated it. So I still see it online and my heart just goes so happy whenever I see one of you recreating it. This next layout was a double pager, and it was an interactive one that opens and lets you add even more photos and journaling. I loved how this layout are not like the extended 12 by 24 layouts that we're usually very used to seeing when we see double pagers, but it's actually like two 12 by 12s that work perfectly together, and they're really fun to create. These are the kinds of double page layouts that I like to create, because I'm not the ones that will like measure and just make it look identical. I love creating this kind of double pagers, so I think they really enjoyed it because they've been recreating it, and that makes me super happy as well. The next one is using frames and florals for layouts. Like creating grid layouts is so easy and makes things move really fast, so that's what I wanted to do with them on this layout. I then created with all the scraps that we had this floral like oval shape, and just layered some frames and some photos and little embellishments with the scraps that we had. So those were the layouts that we created for that class. This next layout was also created with the Pack Your Bags collection by Simple Stories, and this one is an interactive one that I loved creating and just adding even more photos and embellishments inside. I just put them in page protectors and pull it out whenever I have this little open tags inside my pages, and I love creating them. So if you wish, you can give it a try. I think that one also has a process video. This next layout was created for Spellbinders using their awesome house dies here and the beautiful fairy that's up here, and it was perfect to document the little house that the tooth fairy left for my daughter when her tooth came out. So yeah, I loved creating this like clouds or giant scallops that represent the sky, and the little fairy up there with the rainbow and all the fun little houses. So this was one that I loved creating. Next is another interactive layout, and yeah, this is in my top 3 layouts of this year for sure. This one was created with fall inspired collection by Spellbinders, and I used the stitching dies, the petal stitching dies up here and the smile stitching die down there. I love the color in this collection. I love the florals, and this one opens like this and reveals the 2 photos under the windows. I just love creating this kinds of layouts that are interactive and are fun, because I think we gotta spice things up because we crafters tend to do the same thing. So coming up with fun ways to document my stories is like what makes my heart happy. Next, I have a layout created with the Say Cheese. I'm not sure what this one was called, but here, this was my daughter's first time in the Tower of Terror, and she said she's never going back. I had the time of my life, but she got so scared, and it was awesome to document that moment with this collection. It was perfect with all the little Hollywood Tower of Terror things. It was just awesome. The next layout that I have is, I believe, called Classic Mouse. And it is like a vintage Mickey themed collection. It's awesome. And I loved creating this huge circle in the middle, popping my photos up on a chipboard frame, and creating these 2 clusters here with all those rosettes, having my title on top of it, and adding this little banner. Just an awesome, awesome collection to have if you love Disney. This next one was a fall-inspired layout. It was created for a summit. This was my first time participating of a summit, and it was so fun. So I just created like a wall on the back with the tone-on-tone like wood. I tried to give it a look of wood stitching on the middle of it. And then I created my little shelves that have like photo frames. I just wanted to create this cozy layout that gives you the cozy feeling of a home. So yeah, I loved creating this and teaching the students there. They were almost 10,000 students in the summit, so it was awesome to be part of it. The next layout, friends, was created with the Cider and Donut Simple Stories collection. I just adore this collection, the colors, the soft colors, and the very, I don't know, I just love this color combo. It gives me all the cozy feelings, and I used the chipboard frame as I love to do, and created 2 giant clusters on my 2 corners. I also did like just one border and used the Color Vibe cardstock on the back, and added stitching for some more cozy feelings. Next, we have this very textured layout. It was created with the Scary Stories collection by Simple Stories. And I loved cutting apart my squares again and popping everything up, distressing my pattern papers here, and just adding this spider web that I had as decorations on my house. It just inspired me to go like to have this creepy spider web and create those creepy feelings on this layout. A very fun one to create. You know, I love having fun when I'm creating. I love thinking outside of the box. So I hope you get that when you see these layouts, that I really try to do things that are not my usual. Next one is, this one is Scary Stories again, and I just loved this design here. It's like it has a strip and a middle strip, so it was something different for me as well. And creating my 3 clusters here, just a very simple one, but very fun. Next one, oh yeah, this was one that I created for Paige Evans' class. This next layout was one that I created on the Scrapbook and Cards Today Halloween event with Paige Evans, and I loved, it's another shelf one. I loved creating this one. I still have to put some photos here, but I had it in my pile. So I have a couple of unfinished layouts that I have them somewhere, but I love taking classes, friends. I love supporting the people that I love, and I really love learning new things. I am one of those people that think that you can always learn new things and be inspired by something that's new to you. So that's that. And this, friends, the next 5 layouts are part of a Spanish class that I'm giving here, using a little older collection. I think this was Woodland Grove by Maggie Holmes. So yeah, I love this, creating this beautiful romantic layout. So this is a wreath that I just used a resin, I believe it's called, frame here, and I created that beautiful border with all the florals and my embellishments on top. Next one is another, you can see I love creating this shelf layouts, and this was created using that same collection and just going crazy with embellishments with my photo frames and just having tons of fun. This next one is using the same collection, and like you know, I love tone on tone, so I made use of this beautiful like square pattern paper, and I just chose the embellishments on the same color family to decorate my layout. So yeah, this was a very fun one as well. Next, I have this one that has like the little mountains that says chase your dreams, and I have all these wild animals that are chasing their dreams, and there's me to remember that that's what I gotta do whenever I'm a little scared or intimidated to do something new, to chase my dreams. So this is one that I have hanging on my wall just to remind me of this beautiful phrase. Next, I have another one that I love. How you can see, I love cutting the middle parts, popping that up and creating like a, I don't know what that look is called, but I just really think it looks very pretty in person. And this is a very soft and romantic layout where I just made use of the florals and of the layering technique to document the story of my daughters and their cousin. Next, we're going in the holiday collections by Simple Stories. This one, I believe, is the Holly Jolly, and I created some fun ornaments just with like a paper technique here of folding paper and creating this fun ornament. I used some twine to hang all the ornaments, my brads, and just had a very fun layout. Again, trying something new, something different, and I just need my journaling to finish this layout and add it to my album. This layout was created with the Christmas Village collection. That was a very fun one of my favorite collections, my favorite holiday collections this year. And I created a little village with the houses, with the little mountains, and I loved including those photo shoot pictures of my daughters and my family. So just another one full of texture and of fun embellishments. These next layouts are created with the Santa's Village collection, and they are for a class that I'm offering, my first online class. So I did some origami kind of trees here that you can see give tons of texture. And I did a little cluster here and up here with my trees on the side. So a very fun layout to create. Next, for that class, I had to use this awesome snow globe pattern paper in the Santa's Village collection. And I did some stitching all around. This one was this chain stitch. And then I did the back stitch on the bottom. I got my snowman like skiing, and I created my fun embellishment clusters with a chipboard frame here. Really fun. This one is also created for that class, and I have the layering technique. I have beautiful florals, tags up here. I just need to add my journaling and it will be done. Next one, I have an interactive one for this class as well. It has a little door that opens and reveals more photos. And I love this little windows that look like if they were looking inside the door. So yeah, as you can see, another one that's very creative and different. Next, I created this one with the Yuletide collection. It's a very vintage one, like you can see, but I just got so inspired with these two little girls that reminded of my two little ones. So yeah, I created this scene down here and the beautiful clusters up there. Super, super fun. Like I told you, the simple vintage collections just make me fall in love with that style of scrapbooking. I then have this layout created as well with the Yuletide collection. I have 2 photo frames layered one on top of the other. I loved creating this little stitch strips on the back, and I loved fussy cutting the florals on the side to layer them on top of my elements. So a very fun one. I love the bold colors and how my 2 photos are like the main thing when you look at this layout. Finally, friends, this is my last layout for the year, and it's using the, I believe it's called Snow Pine Lodge collection by Simple Stories, created by Kelly Banks, which I adore. So yeah, this one was perfect to document our little trip to the Rockefeller Center where we skated for a bit. It was magical and I loved using this lodge here. I stitched on the border at the bottom. This one reminded me of a sweater that I have, so I just had to stitch it. And up here you can see that I added some sequins. These are sequins with some French knots, and this just gives me all the cozy feelings, the snow feeling, and I adore it. So yeah, friends, this is my last layout for the year. I really hope you've enjoyed looking through all these layouts. They are more than 70, friends. I think I have almost 80 layouts done this year, and I thank you for being here along the way. Thank you so much for your support, friends. Without you, this little channel wouldn't be possible. So thank you so much for being here, for leaving love, those hearts that make me so happy, the comments that I read and that keeps me going. Thank you so much. I hope you've had a wonderful holiday season. I hope you have an amazing 2025, and let's keep creating together. Let's keep inspiring each other. Until the next time, this was Gloria Parra. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.